Hello, hello. Welcome to Creative Minds again. This is Gerard for episode 14. How you guys doing?
Good, good.
Doing
Another
good.
great week. Glad to be back on finally.
Yep, yep. What about
Yeah,
you, Emilio?
yeah. Another week down, man, and wait for the next week. See how it goes.
Absolutely. I mean, these past couple of days have been kind of filled with quite a lot that's going on. We still have the struggle or the war, as one can call it, in Ukraine. Not to belittle everything that's happening, elsewhere around the world, but war in general is not something that we want to kind of see strive within our communities. So our hearts, go to every single person that's going through a civil strife, and we hope that this can be resolved as soon as possible. But during this period, there's quite a lot that is going on the crypto side. On the stock side, there's quite a lot of changes. People are making money, some people are losing. Again, there's a famous saying that goes that never leave a crisis go to waste. That's something that most investors that have actually benefited from this type of scenarios, you always remember that never leave a crisis go to waste, because that's when you probably make the most money. But all the same, guys, let me go back to you guys. How was your week? Emilio, let me start with you. How did you spend it? What's new, in your corner?
Nothing. I mean, pretty much it's just just another venture I'm still trying to learn. Something for like in the commerce world. So I just got to put more effort into the stuff that I'm actually learning right now. So, but
Yeah,
other than that, I mean, it just once it gets once it comes together, it's gonna unfold tenfold. Something like that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, just a matter of time right now.
absolutely. Hey, Brian, any thoughts? What's new in your corner? Anything new, that
Oh,
people are
nothing. We
interested?
had a nice little run in the stock market this week, and then crypto had a nice little pump, especially crypto.com. I don't know
Yep,
if y'all saw, was it FIFA has partnered with
yep,
crypto.com again.
absolutely,
So another big, another big sponsorship right there, and then a little bit
absolutely.
pump on Crow and
Yep.
Bitcoin as well. So everything's
Yeah.
looking kind of up right now this week.
I
Yeah.
would definitely, agree with you on that sponsorship by Crypto.com being the first cryptocurrency to lead the sponsorships with FIFA. And
Yeah.
again, this is actually aiming at the World Cup that's going to be coming up this November, right? So
Mhm.
very big event.
Yep.
Quite a lot of us know it as football, but a
Yep.
lot of people here know it as soccer,
Yeah.
right? But hey, it's still one of the biggest events, and I am pretty sure that there's going to be quite a lot of cryptocurrencies that are going to be coming up and probably stepping to the table. But
Mhm.
crypto.com is definitely pushing the envelope here with most of the sponsorships today, guys. As compared to the episode 13 where we spoke about options, we are going to have a discussion about puts, right? Almost like part two of our discussion. And for any of our viewers who didn't get a chance to watch our videos, please do go back, watch all the 13 episodes if you want to. There's quite a lot to learn, but if not, just go back to the last one and kind of get some ideas about the options, as today we are going to be talking about puts, which is basically being able to transact, but from a different perspective. And we are going to be able to discuss that as we, move forward, during this particular show. Brian, just off the top of your head, right, really high level, what would you describe a put to be?
So selling a put is like the opposite end of selling a call. So now you're looking at buying the stock at a lower price. You believe
Yeah,
that, hey, the stock is going down. I want to catch it at a more acceptable level than what it is. So this is where it gets real more riskier. This is more where you can lose a little bit of money if it doesn't go your way. So this is definitely the one. I really don't do this too often unless it's like a for sure bet. But
yeah,
because you got to, and plus you got to have the cash on hand to afford the 100 the 100 shares. So this where coming into, you got to have the money on hand, and it's a little bit more riskier, but you can make some decent cash,
yeah,
and get yourself in a lower position. So you know,
absolutely.
and
And
always
again,
take your risk.
definitely, there's that risk factor that comes into play. and you probably want to be, everyone really needs to be careful, right? The average Joes that we all are, or some of us, or some other people that are a little bit more experienced, there's always that caution that everyone needs to exercise here, right? And should we look at some of the stocks that one would actually utilize for doing, puts and calls? Emilio, what are some of those stocks that you feel that one could be able to utilize in this type of a scenario?
Well, I mean, we went back to the Tesla. I mean, it's something that most people are familiar with the volatility that goes up and down. So, I mean,
Yeah,
if you want to look at it in terms of like something that you want to put a bet on and you kind of see how it's kind of going back up and down, I mean, Tesla will be the same thing. I mean, we're going back to like the last one that we just did so on episode 13, but
yeah,
that's only for the people that really understand that part. It's something I really don't understand 100%, you know, to the core 100% because I haven't done it myself to understand it. So, but I mean, just based on the knowledge of what Brian was explaining, it just I'm going based on that right now. You know what I mean? I haven't done a lot of research to be honest on that put. You know what I mean? But Tesla, I mean, seems something that you would like to learn on
yeah.
because of the volatility that it has. I mean, I mean, that's the only thing I can say for that.
No, definitely. I mean, within the space in buying stocks or doing pools or options, there is just that ambiguity that any person really that is not familiar, it's always advisable to take a step back, watch YouTube videos, just have a look at what others are doing, what not to do, what to do, and again, all in all, it's just to make sure that you are not really losing too much, right? It's okay to lose in the market because that's what happens every day. People win and people lose, right? But you don't want to be, on the losing end all the time because there are times that you win and there are times that you lose. So it's normal. You just want to make sure that you put in just the amount that you're okay, that if you lose, you won't really go, without a roof over your head, right? You don't want to take those risks, these are days. But all in all, we are definitely going to be, looking at puts, and we are going to be looking at how to do the opposite of what we did, last week. But before we actually dive into that section, guys, there is always one thing that I always want to bring up, right? We have talked about, cryptocurrency, we have talked about, stocks, but there's an aspect of risk, there's aspect of volatility, right? With what is happening, did you guys hear or have you guys followed the news about what is happening with the cryptocurrency? Countries are being able to shut it down, and some countries are opening it up. Hey, Emilio, let me go back to you now. Did you hear anything in the news about any country kind of making some tough decisions around cryptocurrency?
I mean, yeah, we keep hearing a lot about Ukraine right now, which is they're with the jump with the cryptocurrency that they're making it like more official for them to use it, to be able to use and utilize it, especially right now in wartime, that a
Yeah,
lot of money can be held or what I mean with the central banks that they have, something
yeah,
that can help them out. You know what I mean? And any forms of ways that they need it. But another thing, I mean, China, being that China is, and we had this conversation actually prior in one of our episodes where China has tried to ban certain, plays and Bitcoin and stuff like that. But right now, I believe they banned all of crypto. I think it's like maybe like the 11th, maybe 13th time already to try to do this to ban it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it goes on to show that it's such a powerhouse like China that tries to block something that's a big movement that's actually bigger than what they are. I mean, that's what I believe. That's something that's bigger than China. When you talk about crypto, but for them to try to ban it and like how we had this conversation, it's gonna be very hard. You know what I mean? Because especially Chinese, and we all know how the Chinese get down when it comes to like the security, cybersecurity, and all these things. They're gonna find a way. You know what I mean? If it's somebody, they will find a way to kind of keep trading. So, I mean, but I mean to ban it. I mean, I mean,
yeah,
just yeah,
yeah. It's a tough choice,
it's a
right?
tough choice. Yeah, and I'm
But
not
yeah,
sure 100%. I'm not sure 100% too. I think Bank of America is trying to pull something with Dogecoin or they're trying to do something with crypto. In the crypto space. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it's a lot going on with the crypto. So
yeah. No, sure. There are a couple of companies, really well established that are either getting involved in so many ways, and we have heard of banks, that are having their cryptocurrency or their research, their R&D sections, really looking into how to implement cryptocurrency. Now, Brian, what have you heard anything about some of these institutions or banks that are really, getting into this space? Like some of them have been really open about it, right? Using the blockchain, technology to create, platforms that they are using, such as Merck, right, and some of these shipping companies.
Yeah, I'm looking at like especially SoFi Bank. It's kind of like a newer bank, but they're more online.
Yep.
If you go look at their credit card rewards, anything if you using one of their credit cards debits, they're giving you cryptocurrency back and cash back, just similar to what you would get back in a credit card from any
Yep.
other institution. They're probably like the first of their kind. I know USAA, Chase, Bank of America is falling behind now because
Yep.
it's like monkey see, monkey do. If one does it, the next one's going to do it, and that just it popularizes everything,
Yeah.
make it more competitive. So, and like Amelia, like you were saying about China, I feel bad for them right now. They can't invest in this opportunity, and
Yeah.
it just puts more. It just creates more opportunity for us, like here in the U.S., to
Mhm.
swoop in, collect all that cryptocurrency, collect all that Bitcoin,
Yeah.
raise the prices because then they're going to be getting in at a higher price by the time their government says, okay, you guys can start buying it again. So it really kind of sucks
Yeah.
that they're missing out on
Right.
this. Um,
Yeah, no, and again, before we actually hop into our very first break of the episode, we definitely want to take this moment just to say thank you to our audience again, and we always appreciate the feedback. So please let us know how you feel, or any comments or any suggestions that you have. Like, subscribe, and please share. So before we actually, hop on to the next phase, we are going to remind you guys that we are going to be talking about puts. We are going to have a very, very high level demo from Brian just to continue what we did last week. So until then, we should be back in 60 seconds. Hello and welcome back again to Creative Minds. This is Gerard and I have with me Emilio and Brian. And today we are talking about puts. And Brian is going to be showing us a high level demo of exactly what that means. So, Brian, I'm going to pass it over to you.
okay. Okay, everybody. So just similar to what we talked about last week with selling calls. In addition, we're this week we're gonna be talking about selling puts. So selling puts, basically selling the puts, you have to have the money on hand in order to purchase 100 shares. So remember again, one contract is always equal to 100 shares. It's the same thing on the side of selling a call, same thing on the side of selling a put. Basically, you're selling a put. That means you're betting that the stock is going to go down and you want to purchase it for a lower price versus what the stock price currently is. So for this example, I'm going to use Robinhood, of course. Robinhood is my platform of choice for purchasing stocks. And I'm going to use the Robinhood stock. The stock ticker for Robinhood is going to be Hood. So I'm gonna show you the chart now. Selling a put, you kind of got to be following the stock that you want to be purchasing, watching his news updates, watching the charts, pretty much knowing where it's going to be at, how it's going, whether it's going up or down for the stock. So Robinhood came out last year around June. This says July 29th. So for an example, Robinhood had a big jump when it first dropped. So you see it hit an all-time high of $70 during that time, and Robinhood just been in trouble. A lot of bad press. The whole GameStop incident. I know everybody saw that meme. GameStop had a huge run up, and Robinhood ended up,
Yeah.
not allowing people to buy and sell the stock. They placed restrictions, so there was a lot of bad press for like that whole end of the last year. And then Fed regulation, Omicron here and there. Robinhood just tank it. It was a good bet too because Robinhood was really popular. But
Yeah.
with this, you watch the chart to know direction Robinhood has been going. Watching the news. So even me, I was in Robinhood for a little bit. I was in there around the $40 mark. Just it kind of hovered around $40 for a little bit, and then that's when I saw it started to tank. So I even took a little loss on Robinhood. So just for an example, if you wanted to purchase Robinhood, you're saying that Robinhood is going to go down, and say for instance you believe that Robinhood is going to drop down to like $30. So it's $40, just for example, right now, $40, and then you say you want to purchase Robinhood at $30. That was not a good bet if you were doing that because the purchase of that stock is constantly falling. So for an example, same thing. You're gonna enable your trade options inside of the settings of Robinhood. So we're gonna go here to trade hood options. And again, we're not, like I showed you guys last week, sell call. This time we're going to focus on selling a put. So right now, the price of Robinhood is $12.95. Right, you can see the shares price right here. So basically, you believe that Robinhood is going to drop a little lower. So in order to purchase, to make a bet, you have to have. I'm gonna use the example of buying Robinhood at $11. So that means you need to have $1,100 on hand inside of your brokerage account, ready to go in order to make this
Mhm.
bet. So 12.95, a week bet right here because you got the expiration date for the stock. And just for this example, I'm gonna give it a 2 week bet. Now this is not something I would do, but just to show you guys the type of credits you could get, possibly if you want to make a 2 week bet, because I don't believe Robinhood, because I believe Robinhood will be lower at this point if it's just keep going down like it is. So we're gonna go out to 2 weeks from now, expiring in April 8th. I'm betting that Robinhood is gonna drop down to at least $11, and that's the price that I want to buy in at. I would say I would buy in Robinhood at $11 a share. That's $1,100 I have to have on hand. So I'm gonna place the bet, short put, continue, and again, I only want 100 shares of this because this is where I want to have my buy in at. I want to be in at $11, no more. So $11, Robinhood is going to come out with a limit price. You can set the price of the credit that they're going to give you at anywhere between 18 and 20 cents. So I'm just going to set it in the middle at 19 cents. So Robinhood is going to give you a credit of $19 just for you making this bet. Again, you have to have the $1,100 on hand in order to make this bet because you're saying that you want to purchase 100 shares of Robinhood at $11. It's $1,100 right there. So you're gonna place that bet. No matter what, you're gonna make that $19 credit, and then you review order, and then bam, you have to have the money on hand. So I don't have $1,900 in my account right now, but that's what it will look like. And then that $19 credit is gonna go right into your brokerage account for you making that bet, and then it's gonna go all the way until April 8th. So whatever the stock price of Robinhood is at that time, if it's below $11, it's going to purchase that bet for you. If it doesn't make it to if it makes it to 11.5 or 11.2, congrats, you won. You didn't spend the money. You didn't get the credit. You just try it again the next coming weeks. No matter what, if it didn't reach at $11 or below, then you won't. Then it'll purchase all the stocks for you. The problem with with selling a put is if the stock drops lower than the bet that you wanted to buy it at. So no matter what, it's going to exercise the option at $11, even if the stock drops to $8.05. And that's what the point that's what the point where you're trying to catch a stock while it's dropping, because it's buying the stock for you at $11, but the stock when it actually comes into your brokerage account, it's going to be at $8.05. So again, you're automatically starting with it being down. even though you just purchased the shares at $11 a share. You guys kind of catch where I'm going with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and that's the problem. That's the risky part of trying to sell a put, because it's basically you're trying to catch a falling knife at that point. And so if it drops lower than you want it to be, then you're just in the hole right from the upstart of you owning the stock.
Yeah.
So that's some serious,
That's
that's
dangerous.
the serious. It's kind of dangerous, and that's just Robinhood. Again, last week we showed the example of Tesla. Let me go to Tesla's chart right here. Dang, we just looked at this last week, and Tesla was at like $700. Remember
Yeah.
that? It's at a
Yeah.
thousand now. You see the volatility of some of these stocks, and so
It's
like
crazy.
that would probably be a very good bet. You could probably bet that Tesla will be down, maybe $300 next week. It'd probably be a very good bet. But the same thing,
Yeah.
it could probably shoot up. Um, I'm gonna show you guys the volatility on selling a put with Tesla. So same thing. Go to Tesla call, Tesla put. Y'all bear with me just a minute. Wait for all this stuff to load. Okay, I'm just scrolling down here till I get to the share price. Okay, selling a put on Tesla. For Tesla, you got to have the money on hand. And Tesla's a lot of money to purchase, all these shares if you want to do. So, say for instance, you believe that Tesla was going to drop down to $900 by the end of the week. You have to have the 9,000. The what is it, $9,000 in order to. I'm sorry, what is it?
That's a lot of money, right?
Yeah, you gotta have that's why you gotta be somebody with some deep pockets in order to be selling puts on stuff like Tesla. What is
Exactly.
$900 times 100? Yeah, you gotta have $90,000 in order to sit on just for 900 shares. Just to buy in at 900, you got to be down there.
Yeah.
And then it has a great. I'm sure it has a great credit when you do it too. Yeah, bear with me. It's just kind of going kind of slow on this load.
Definitely something that people just need to be very, very careful, right? When
Yeah,
you
you got
are
yep.
doing all this type of
Yeah.
calls, you just have to be very careful.
These are definitely
And,
rolls of dice right there.
yep, and that's rolling the dice. And then you and it could drop down to 900, and then it exercises, and you purchase all the shares at 900, and then the next day it drops down to like 600. You just
Hmm.
out of you know all that money that quickly. But
Yeah.
the same thing, it could also moon up, to $1,500 the next day.
Yeah.
Robinhood doesn't seem to be sharing, but it's the same principle. For Tesla on selling put, you'll get the credit is a lot larger for selling puts always than what you're going to get for selling a call. Selling a
Mm.
call, the credit is usually going to be a little bit smaller, just because you're not putting that much risk. You're betting that the stock is going to go up, but
Yeah.
betting with your own money to make the stock go down, that creates a little selling pressure on you. So Robinhood is more likely to give you a larger credit for selling a put, and that's in all cases. Selling a put is always going to reward you a higher credit.
Yeah.
But that's just a quick rundown,
Okay.
on selling puts. That's the more riskier sides of doing the stocks like that.
Yeah.
Me, I always tell people, selling calls is probably the more easier thing. But if you got deep pockets, sell puts. It's more riskier. And then you can make some serious passive income every week,
Yeah.
weekly.
No, definitely. I mean, everybody definitely must needs to weigh their situation, right, before you know exactly which angle of investment you want to get into. Passive income can be very, very passive, and it can equally pass all your income or anything that you have, right, out
Yeah.
of wherever you have it, whether it's in your bank account or your pockets. So you just have to be careful, know exactly what you're getting into. And again, thank you very much, Brian, for that demo. I mean, this is quite instrumental and very, very reflective of some of the other videos that we have here. So if anybody hasn't yet seen the other videos, please do check them out. The
Yeah.
previous one was talking about options, right? So we want to be able to give you like a balanced view so that you have an idea from both sides. What are options? What are puts? What are the type of stocks to buy? What are the type of cryptocurrencies that are out there? The type of platforms. So we are continuously looking for ways to share this information, and please feel free to comment. Drop a note, let us know what your thoughts are, and if you are interested in joining us here, please feel free to let us know as well. So, we just want to make it clear that we are here for more like a discussion, right, on how to kind of generate passive income. So we welcome all ideas and suggestions. It's been a really good flow, guys, and maybe rather than taking the break that we normally take, maybe we should just roll on to the next section, which is the third and final section of our show, right? Normally, during the third and final, section, we would read a question, but before we read a question, there is always a third, question that a third topic that we want to talk about. And I believe last time we talked about capital gains and tax, question. Maybe if we have to brush it just a little bit, in terms of puts, Brian, what exactly would you say are some of the implications, right, for taxes or capital gains when we are dealing with puts as
Yeah, so,
compared
so
to
selling puts,
options?
it does have a benefit as far as capital gains. So since it's just looking like you're purchasing a stock, especially if the stock does drop down to the level that you want it to, all it is just a purchase. It's not an actual sell or anything like. So if you sell a call, that should be all upside because automatically you're getting credit, and it doesn't really matter what the stock makes it to by the end of the week as long as you get the credit. So when you sell a put, the only thing you're probably going to get taxed on is just the credit that you will gain.
Yep.
So that's kind of the benefit of weighing your options when you sell a put. It's not going to be immediate capital gains on that on just you purchasing all those 100 shares every time. So that's one thing I can't say about selling a put. But other than
Nice,
credit,
nice.
no matter what, the credit is always going to be taxed as a capital gains. You can't escape
Yeah.
that, and that's short term too. At that point.
Exactly. Emilio, this is very, very, similar to what we talked, last time about short-term gains and long-term gains,
Yeah.
where, in this scenario, we are being encouraged not to sell right away and take our money out, right? So how do you feel about this put, scenario, just from a
Yeah.
high level? Just a couple of words.
I mean, yeah, I just think that well, first of all, one of the things is w- once you whoever it is that's doing those type of puts, for sure got to understand that specific that specific stock.
Transactions.
Yeah, that transact the stock
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like so if
Exactly.
it's like you talking about like the Robinhood and he understood what happened last year and the trajectory of what's happening, it's him understanding how it's been going for that long. So that's one of the things that to look at whenever do a transaction like that as a put with one particular stock. And the next thing, with the capital gains, I mean, we pretty much we said it like on episode 13. So if you didn't hear it, I would suggest go back and take a look at that one. It's very informational. I mean, good thing about this what we have right here with this channel is that we have like like Brian that's really into like the crypto and the stocks and stuff like that. We have you, Gerard, that are really into the stocks and stuff like that too, and other worlds too. With what you do, and then me is just just trying to understand still um, how this crypto thing is moving and how the stocks is. So that's the beauty of this. So for all our people, our viewers, is you have three different people from different walks of life trying to understand and come together with each other's thoughts and stuff like that. And that's how this helps. You know what I mean? For anybody who's watching this, you know what I mean? Just it's just three people with different outlooks and understandings of the market and how it goes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
don't be afraid of nothing, man. Just keep doing it. Just try to do whatever it is that you can.
Absolutely. No, thank you, Emilio. I think you are really, hitting the point here. One thing that we always want to say is that investment is not just for a group of people; it's for everybody. Any and anybody can actually get some passive income. All we need to do is just to, take a deeper look, just persevere and take some time and just look into some of the videos that are out there on what are some of the ways that we can, invest. So we do encourage all our viewers to, take some time and watch some of the videos and just let us know what you think. But we are going to go next into our last and final section, and it's going to be we do have a question. Every show we have a question from our audience. Emilio, can you take that question, please?
Yeah.
Let me, I think we might have it on the screen. Not yet. It's coming up. Yep,
Alrighty.
right there.
Uh, can I stop a put before the end of the day? Now that's a very good question. So we're gonna go ahead and give it down to Brian.
Good question, Brian. Let's say I do have a put and I have zero clue of what's gonna happen, and I
Right.
change my mind right away. Can I
Right.
stop it before the
Absolutely.
end of the day?
Absolutely. So now this is me right here. This principle will work for selling put as well. Right now, I have a call out on Intel. I have a weekly bet. I sold a call at the beginning of the week, and it's going to expire tomorrow. Say, for instance, I didn't want to sell all my Intel. Say, for instance, because so I did a $54 call. That means I bet that Intel won't make it to $54 by the end of the week. Say, for instance, it's already at like 58, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna lose all my shares by the end of the week. I want to get out early. What you would do, you have to go over to buy. You have to click on the same contract, go to buy to close. Now, this is you having to pay money to get out of the bet by the end of the week. And if you up, and if the stock is at like 58 and you made a bet at 54, then you're gonna pay out. You're gonna pay Robinhood a little money for ending the bet early. But in turn, you're gonna keep all your shares. So all you have to do, same thing, do one contract with your bet, and then they're going to give you a limit price. And this time they're going to tell you to pay the max cost to end the bet. And that's simple as that. You just pay, you're going to have to pay Robinhood like anywhere between like, $5 to $10. Or depending on how high the stock has gone up, it could be 20, it could be 100, just depending on how high it's moved.
It adds up.
And
Yeah.
it adds up. Just that's just the price of failure. If you try to sneak out of your end of the deal,
It's the cost of doing business.
yeah, the cost of doing business. That's perfect. So that's a perfect example. And it's the same thing for selling a put. You just have to pay to get out of it. And those, you already betting, $1,100. You want to get out,
Yeah.
oh, you got to pay some more money. So that's
Cool.
basically how you would get out of that.
No, thank you so much, Brian. I mean, the whole idea here is that yes, you can definitely close a put, and like you rightly said, there's a steps and there are steps to follow. So before you even make the call or before you even get involved, please just make sure it's something that you are fully committed and you are aware of what some of the financial repercussions could be. I believe we have come to the end of our show. It's been really a great 32 minutes of discussions. We talked about puts today. Last week, we talked about options, and previously, we have talked about stocks. We've talked about cryptocurrency. We've talked about weekly events, things that happen. But before we sign off, guys, we always would like to say a word or two to our audience. Let me start with you, Brian. What do you have to say before we sign off?
Yes, again, you guys, thank y'all for joining us. We saw the feedback on the last video. We had to give y'all part two to this. So we if you guys got any topics that you guys want us to talk about, we love to get something going. And also invite somebody else on to, come join us if you guys want to.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Emilio, what do you
Yeah.
have to say?
I mean, just thank you to all our returning, subscribers, and welcome to all the new ones who have come and this is their first time watching this. Just make sure and go ahead and take a look at the other videos that we have, submitted. So, other than that, I mean, just Hulk smash all the buttons, man. The likes, the share, the commenting, everything. Hulk smash it. Don't just click it, smash it. All right. So, yeah,
Let your friends know about the show. Share it,
yeah.
let us know what you think. And again, we always love hearing the feedback from you guys. We are going to end the show today, and it's been great, being with you guys, Brian and Emilio. So until then, again, thank you to the audience. Please like, share, comment, and let us know your thoughts. It's goodbye from Creative Minds, and we look forward to joining you next week. Ciao.
Peace.
There you go.